everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Proud Skill Worker. Today, we're talking with Killian. Killian, thanks so much for being on the show with us today. How's everything going?
It's going all right. It's going pretty good. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. You know, we love getting to talk with you guys deployed in the field all over the country. So where are you at today, Killian?
I am in Crofton, Nebraska is where I stay, but my job site is in South Dakota, in Yankton.
Okay, how far is that? About how far?
It's probably about 20 miles. It's not too far, though. It's a 15-minute drive.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's a basic commute, right?
Yeah, pretty basic.
So what industry are you currently in?
The food industry.
Is this your first time in food at this contract?
No, sir. I've been to New Jersey, and then this was the second contract, and I just renewed the contract here.
So on your third contract with Skillwork and kind of done the whole thing. I mean, you traveled out to New Jersey, traveled back to Nebraska, to South Dakota area, and then renewed at a location you liked, right?
Yeah.
So for today, for everybody on the show, I'm gonna get into some conversation with Killian about what it's like to be a part of the Skillwork team as a Skillwork traveler in the field. I think it's really interesting to hear perspective from you, Killian. So that's kind of the direction we're going to go today. But the first two things I really want to ask is just how'd you get into the trades? I mean, how'd you get into the industry? What led you here?
A couple of years ago, I had started going to a school for industrial maintenance mechanics. And then with that, I got on to my first job at a chicken plant. I worked there for a while. And then I was on Facebook scrolling one day and I seen an ad for Skillworks and I was like, oh, let me check that out. It gave me the details about the travel and the different job opportunities and stuff like that. So I figured that would be a good decision to make in the beginning of my career, you know, to kind of get my feet planted, see what I do like, see what I don't like, what I can do, what I can't do, what I need more work on. It also gives me the scope to see what different employers need what out of different workers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's kind of what led me to Skillworks.
I love it. And then like overall in your career, not just with your Skillwork piece, but overall in your career, what's been the biggest challenge you've seen so far?
The biggest challenge would be continuing education.
Do you think that's because it's just not standard and everybody kind of wants a different thing? Or do you think it's just hard to find the time or hard to find the location? I mean, what's the hardest piece of that?
I think the hardest part would probably be the time.
As you kind of transitioned and you were scrolling your Facebook feed and then there you were, Skillwork just in your face yelling at you to apply to us. What has been the most exciting part of your career with Skillwork? I mean, you picked up from home. I mean, where's home?
Arkansas.
So you picked up from home in Arkansas and you said your first location was New Jersey.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about the transition from Arkansas to New Jersey and then New Jersey to South Dakota. I mean, let's not pretend like those are three completely different ecosystems. So what's been the most exciting part of your career so far through that?
The most exciting would be the beautiful places. It's just different. You know, I've been in Arkansas for a while, and once you start driving, like from Arkansas to New Jersey, it was probably about 23 hours. So within those 23 hours, I had seen a lot, you know, a lot of beautiful places. Virginia was nice. And then once I got up to, because I was staying in Philadelphia when I was going to New Jersey until I found that B&B in New Jersey. But other than that, it was historical up that way. You know what I mean? And that's some of the stuff that I've never got to see in my lifetime. So when I got up there, you get to see all the old buildings, stuff like that. I even went to Washington, D.C. on the weekend. And I had a blast there. Went to a bunch of museums. So I think that was the most exciting part.
Is that something you think you ever would have done on your own? I mean, was it ever something on your list of like, I want to travel to these places? Or was it just, hey, I'm here, I might as well go see all this awesome stuff?
That's the thing. I had thought about doing it for a long time, but I could only think about it because I was always working. And I can't just leave work to go all the way on the East Coast and stuff like that. But with you guys, it gave me the opportunity to actually go there and work.
That's one of the most exciting parts about Skillwork. And you talked about it a little bit. I mean, there's beauty all over the country. So when we talk about travel, I mean, moving from Arkansas to going up to New Jersey and New Jersey, South Dakota, I mean, all of those places have something beautiful that you want to see or something you want to experience. And with Skillwork, you're there for 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 3 months, and you get to do all that stuff. And then after you've done everything and after you've experienced it all, if it's not a perfect fit for you, you call and we move you. So what has that been like for you? What's it been like to work with Skillwork from day one all the way through the onboarding, which is pretty rigorous, I'm aware,
yeah,
to your first contracts and interviews? And I mean, talk to me about, what has that been like?
it's been good. You know, as far as the jobs that I get the invitation to apply with, they're pretty good jobs, pretty good locations. The process really isn't that rigorous. I mean, it could be tough when it comes to the test, but other than that, it was a breeze. The guys that I worked with, they just made it that easy to be able to join with you guys and get everything finalized. And as far as finding different locations for jobs, I basically don't even have to do anything except accept it. You know what I mean? So it's very easy.
That's one of the really cool like internal philosophies we have here at Skillwork is we look at the industrial maintenance field and the technicians in the field as high caliber athletes, and we're agents. So our job for you is always competitively finding you a new place to land, getting you to that new team, getting you to that new opportunity. And whether that's, and everybody's kind of got a different thing. And some people are like, hey, I need a dollar amount. Hey, I want this location. Hey, I want to see this area of the country during the season. And everybody's kind of got a different feel. But to your point, our team does all that work for you. All you got to do is show up for an interview and go, hey, did I do it? So it's definitely the goal.
Yeah. It makes it that much easier.
And I'm happy to hear that went smooth for you. And it's never perfect. There's always little bumps in the road as we kind of work with people. And we have people on all sides of this equation, right? So what are some of the things you didn't expect? I mean, you came to Skillwork, you saw the ad, you probably had an idea in your head, it's going to be this. What's happened that you didn't expect, positive or negative?
Well, the positive thing is probably renewing the contract that I'm on now. I didn't really expect that, but I'm glad that I could do that because it shows a lot of that the effort that I've put in is worked in some type of way that they want to keep me there. You know what I mean? Another thing I didn't expect is coming to South Dakota and having 4 blizzards within 3 months. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's back and forth, really. Yeah, the weather is definitely a factor, but we're getting into summertime now, though, so I'm not too worried about that. Other than that, I didn't expect to go to a beef plant because I've never been to one, so it's kind of crazy when you get there. As my first contract ended and I took this one, I was really still kind of nervous about traveling to a new place because you always get the cold feet, like nobody knows me. You know what I'm saying? That we're not friends anywhere, and then I have to show up to these strangers and try to put on for them. But after about a week or two, it was great. It's going great. So, I mean, I didn't expect to get so comfortable so quick because it kind of feels like a big family.
When you talk about that first week or two and how easy it was to get acclimated and get comfortable and kind of, integrate into that maintenance team, what do you think it was that made it so easy? I mean, apart from, you said the people and the family, but like, what did you bring to the table that you think everybody was like, nah, this is great. This is the dude.
Well, but besides the skill set, because you got to work with people differently, you know what I mean? And you can go to some places that's super serious about what they do and they're kind of uptight. And then you go to places that's more a little lackadaisical and you just kind of got to fit in, you know what I mean? Talk to everybody, get to know everybody. Let them get to know a little bit about you. I've actually met a couple guys from Arkansas. One of them works there. He used to live in Fayetteville. And then I met another guy and he takes trips to Arkansas with his wife. So we kind of connected on that issue. So it's just really building a connection with the people that you work with, which should be anywhere you go.
Yeah, I think that's one of the soft skills, right, that nobody really talks about, that has come a long ways in the industrial maintenance field, because as we look more and more at industrial maintenance and basically all skilled trades across the country, there's this wave coming where supplemental labor, which is what Skillwork does. I mean, we're a travel staffing company, so we're supplementing labor teams all across the country, where this is just going to be part of what everyone does. But one of the most important skills, and probably the most important skills, are going to be your soft skills. How you integrate into those teams. Yeah, you need to bring the tangible skills of knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But what you just described, Killian, were soft skills. It's being personable. It's being able to have a conversation. It's understanding that as different as all of our backgrounds are, we have a common tie somewhere, and getting to that. And then understanding it's going to change place to place to place, day to day.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's really cool to see. Is that something you kind of knew before you set out on the road, that you had those soft skills and would be able to integrate in, or was that a concern?
It's kind of like a hit and miss thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, everybody's different. They have their preferences. I might be able to connect with so-and-so, but I won't be able to connect with the other person the same way that I connected with so-and-so. And I wasn't really too worried about it. Of course, there's always the doubt that, oh, I'm going to meet that person that doesn't like anybody. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the case here. Hasn't been the case so far. So
you mentioned kind of being on site there and getting a renewal and being there long term. What has it been like from your communication, your care? Like, do you feel like Skillwork has supported you while you've been on site at both locations? Do you feel like it's been more like, hey, get there and call us when things go wrong and we'll handle it, but don't worry about it? Or like, what's the relationship you think you have with Skillwork?
yeah, I feel like that they supported me actually the whole way. You know, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. When I first got here, I was staying in the cabin and I had wanted to move to a furnished house, and Skillworks, I mean, within the next day they had something for me. When I started the job, I always get calls from, I talk with Tammy, and she stays in touch with me. We talk freely about the job and everything. And I don't know how many guys that Skillworks has working for them, but each connection feels personal. It doesn't feel like we're all just bunched up and we're getting addressed as a group. It feels personal. So the connection there is pretty good, and Skillworks is pretty good at maintaining that connection with the employees.
And to be upfront, I mean, we have somewhere in the ballpark of 180 to 200 people in the field in a given moment right now. Each one of our skill workers, we hope, feel the same way you do. And we have a full team here that's built around that engagement process. And it's so you understand the value you're bringing to the organization, the value you're bringing to the client, and the location you're at. And we never want anybody to feel like a number. That's why the conversations you're having with Tammy are just as real as the conversations I'll have with Tammy in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's who we are. It's what we're trying to do for you. You guys probably talk about a different style of work than her and I do, because you do different work than we do. But I mean, the conversations are the same. It's, hey, I just called my coworker to talk about my job today. And that's what we strive to do, is we want you guys to feel as embedded as you are in our team, even though you're in the field doing it.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the show, Killian. What I like to do at this part of the show is I want to turn it over to you. And just, if you could say one thing to everybody in the industry, anybody in the industry, they're all going to hear this message. What's the thing you would say to them? Whether it's, hey, make sure you do this, do your PM, whatever it is you want to say. What's Killian's word of advice for everybody in industrial maintenance?
I would say always strive to improve your knowledge and always look further the more education on what you already know. It's impossible to know everything, but always strive to try to get there. You know what I mean? And I think that's the gist of it.
What are you currently trying to grow in right now, Killian?
As far as industrial maintenance, it would be probably electrical.
Getting into like the electronics and the PLC and programming side, or the electrical troubleshooting, like down to component level?
Yes. Now,
yeah.
Okay. PLC, maintenance, and robotics. That would be great, The
robotic side of stuff is so cool. The automation and everything that's coming, the fourth revolution that is just sweeping through all of industrial maintenance and the industrial floors right now to try to automate everything is so incredible to see. It's awesome.
Yep.
All right, sir. Anything else for me? Any other comments? Any other things you'd like to tell everybody kind of about your experience, about life of Skillwork, your day-to-day?
Well, day-to-day, I don't really do much. I go to work, I come home, I sleep, eat, and then go back to work. But I mean, that's the life of being on the road though, so that should be expected. Missing the family part, that's expected, but we're out here taking chances is what this is. Every time you go somewhere, it's a new chance and an opportunity. It's not just a negative chance, it's actually the opportunity to grow. And I think that's what everybody wants if they are on the road.
I love it. I think that description you just gave is so accurate. It's all of us have things in front of us in life, and whether we view them as a negative or an opportunity is up to us. We get to shape how we see the world. It's our blessing. So if we look at things as an opportunity, we're going to go after it. If we look at things as a burden, it's going to pull us back. That idea of looking at things as an opportunity is huge. I think it's a mindset thing we can all get to. All right. Again, thank you so much, Killian, for being on the show today. Huge thank you to all of you who are listening or watching, whether you're on Spotify or iTunes or YouTube or anything, anywhere else you watch your podcast. Please continue to like and subscribe. Reach out if you want to be a guest on the show. You don't have to be a skill worker to be on the show. So if you have an opinion or if you have something you want to talk about, please reach out. Killian, thanks so much. Everybody listening, thank you. Have a great day.